What's up everybody, this is Griffin with 7B Adventure. As you'll see in this video, I am doing some frame repair. My track bar mount decided to start breaking on the frame. Really wasn't a lot of anything's fault but my own. I ground the welds off on that section. I have set up this front axle to sit a lot higher than it was originally with the small axle when I built this thing a long time ago. So when I notched the frame, I used some plate work to get it so my steering linkage and my track bar fit higher up in the frame. That system worked, but when I did the driver's side, I cut a big notch into it, but then I ground the welds flat, so it kind of got a weak point. About 8,500 miles later, with how the Jeep is set up, it's finally tearing the frame. So I've gone through and TIG welded it. Now I'm gonna add some fish plates. As you'll see the updates on that. I'm also gonna be upgrading the track bar and the tie rod, or not really upgrading. I am replacing the Heim joints because they have worn out. So I ordered some Heim joints from Rough Stuff Specialties. It's a left hand and right hand 7/8 Heim for the track bar, which is what keeps the axle centered. The tie rod end is 3/4 inch Heims because that's just how I built it, but that's what I use for clearance. I go off of a high steer arm that's custom made for this Dana 60. And then I'm also going to be putting in this new Evil Energy coolant overflow bottle, and it'll just run off a barb fitting that's on the radiator now. And as you see in this, it's, I think, the 30 milliliter. I got it off Amazon. I was running hot on this. I was overheating. I hit 286 because it was low on coolant. I added a gallon coolant and then was still burping coolant out. So I took the 16-pound radiator cap that I had on and I took it off and I put a 20. It subsided my over temp problem. I haven't seen over 210 with this setup, but I know I need an overflow bottle because I kept on pushing coolant out. So this is gonna get installed. I'll do a little bit of that install. So I've cleaned all the paint off of the frame here because I'm gonna be adding the brace. This is the upper track bar mount on the frame. I have this stick out pretty far just because of where my geometry needed to land for the steering gear. I am going to be adding a tube here around where the bolt goes just to clean it up and make a really nice line. Bracket is all finished up, welded. I TIG welded all the top side of this one, running my Dynasty 350, and then some of the underneath stuff I ended up with MIG just because the tight angles and trying to get in there was kind of not going to happen with the MIG or the TIG welder. I made a new plate for the inside here. I didn't film any of that because I forgot. And then that blows through. Put it in the press brake, got a Swagger off-road press brake. Ran it across through here, and I ended up boxing that through the top side as well. And that was all MIG welded. Trying to get the TIG torch in there was not going to work. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I wasn't trying to do a lot of talking in this video because it just seems like sometimes I ramble on way too much. So I got the Heim joints replaced in the track bar. Only did one of them because the other one didn't have as much play, but the actual misalignment spacers themselves were stuck in the joint. So I had to cut the old joint off or apart and then cut the spherical bearing because I didn't order new misalignment spacers. The next set I also should just take this thing apart, deep clean everything down to all my links and grease and put anti-seize on stuff because it's got a lot of road miles on it. And the roads up here in North Idaho are pretty gruesome sometimes, especially in the wintertime. And that's primarily when I drive this thing because it gets around so well. And got the overflow bottle, as you see, it was in. I left the hose a little bit long just so if I need to reroute it, need to double check it, it's good. If I need to shorten it, I can. I still have probably a good 6 feet of tubing for that, and that was just, I think, the 30 milliliter Evil Energy bottle. It's anodized aluminum. They engraved their Evil Energy label. It's all Amazon products for that, and all my fuel lines in this were all Evil Energy. It was a really good product, and that's why I went with it. Next step is just to clean this thing, because 4th of July it rained here, and the ride home was super muddy, and this thing's wide as it is, it throws mud everywhere. So I got mud all over the interior, and I need to deep clean it completely, which is not bad. And fix some wiring stuff. Like if I run all 6 of my lights, as you saw, that'll actually overheat my ignition switch, and it shuts off, and sometimes it'll kill the fuse, which is also the fuse for my charging system. So that's not good. I do carry spare 30 amp fuses for that scenario, but I try to not run all 6 of them because it's a lot of load. I need to switch it to off a 200 amp constant duty solenoid, so that'll take care of all my power issues. But if not, if I don't do that way, I'm gonna run switch pros in this, because like Tree Hugger, my big Suburban, I've shown a little bit of that. I need to do more, but it's beside the point. I'm gonna do a switch pros in this so I can isolate and control everything, and then I can fine tune it. A Switch Pro product itself, yes, it is pricey, but I'm super happy with how it's set up and the amount of big circuits it has compared to like the aux beam or the Amazon versions. And the actual app, I can lock the system, so I can put a passcode in it. I can put a passcode on the 12 gang switch panel, so someone who doesn't know it can't start my rig, which would be fantastic. I think I'd still leave the ignition key in this because it's nice having a key, because I can take that off. But even then, having the switch panel with its own keypad would be really nice as well. So, trying to keep this video nice and short for you guys, but thanks for watching. Let me know if there's anything else you want to see. I will do an actual full walk around of this thing, because I know there's some people that are interested in 1-ton swap CJ7s. And I'm trying to get into more detailed shots, because I have this RS4 gimbal. I'm going to use it as much as possible, and then try using more tripod shots. Right now, it's set up on the gimbal, and it's a couple feet away from me. You guys have a good rest of your day, good morning, however you're watching this, whenever you watch this. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.